guys, it's Miss Julianne coming to you with the Gail Borden Public Library at your home with some more sensory fun. Today we are going to do water beads and frozen things. One of the kids' favorite things to play with at the library are water beads. You can get them at Amazon. I think we got a package, like 20,000 of the small water beads that came with 350 large water beads, and it was about $8 from Amazon. You could also get them at Hobby Lobby, other crafting stores, maybe like Michael's or Joann Fabrics. They should all have them there. So when you get them, this is like 20,000 of the tiny water beads, and this is a couple hundred of the large giant water beads. So you simply put them in a tub of water and for about a day, and then they plump up. They'll stay good in the water for weeks and weeks, but don't throw them away when you're done. Say your child has played with them and you're done playing with them and you're not going to be using them for a while. You can dry them back out. These are ones that I had them ready to go for sensory fun. We weren't able to use them, so I dried them out and then I put them in the baggies. And they sometimes they don't plump back up when they've been used before to the original size, but these ones did really well. So the little ones go from these tiny beads to this size. So that's about the size that they're gonna get, and these are the replumped ones. And then the giant ones, they get giant. I mean, that's pretty big. So these are they're a little more fragile. They will break easier. Like that one just broke in half. So you can use, I usually just put them in a giant tub. I'll use all 20,000 of the small ones at once. And put out like measuring cups and maybe some ice cube trays and spoons, and the kids just have a blast playing with them. You can also freeze them. If you are going to freeze them, these ones don't need to be in the freezer for very long. I put just a little tiny cup of them in my freezer probably about 20 minutes ago, and if you'll see, let me walk up closer to the camera for you. We've got frost on some of them. So some of them are totally frozen solid. The big one didn't freeze. I hadn't tried that before. I just thought I'd try to see what it would do. But if you freeze them too long, they'll just kind of disintegrate into mush. So just a little while on those, I would say 20 to 30 minutes is the most you want to freeze those for. If you do freeze them, a fun thing to do is to put them, have a big tub of them frozen, and then squirt some shaving cream. And the kids love to play with the shaving cream and the frozen water beads. So the next thing we're gonna freeze, simple ice cubes. But we're not gonna just have plain ice cubes. We are going to color our ice cubes, and you just squirt like 1 drop of food coloring in per slot. I'm gonna do a couple yellow. I'm gonna do like 4 red, and then put 2 more because I'm gonna make a couple purple ones. And then some blue. We'll do the last 4 blue. And then we'll go back to those last 2 red ones and put a drop of the blue in those 2. So we have the colors. I can't really show you because they'll spill, but then you're gonna need a spoon to mix them all up. Maybe rinse that off. Okay. So we mixed our blue, we mixed our purple, we're mixing our red, and then we're gonna mix our yellows. And then you just simply pop them in the freezer for a couple of hours. And you can simply dump them in a bin and the kids can play with them. You could have paper where they're doing an art project, because it will leave some of the color on the paper, like they're painting with the frozen things. It is pretty cold and the food coloring will come off on the kids' hands. So at the library we always provided teeny tiny mittens for the kids to wear. So super fun, easy to do. This surprisingly was one of the kids' favorite activities. We had kids who would spend the whole hour for sensory fun playing with frozen pom-poms. So you simply take little tiny bins, or paper plates work great, but at the library I would probably do like 12 different plates and different bowls. Put the pom-poms on the plate or the bowl, and then you soak the pom-poms with water. You don't want too much water, but you want enough so that the pom-poms absorb all of the water, or most of the water that's in there, so there's not a ton of standing water. And it's fun to do a mix of kinds of pom-poms. I like to put some of the ones that have little sparkly kind of like sticks sticking out of them. And then they get all frozen together when you put them in the freezer. So this one doesn't take a ton of prep either. You could leave these in the freezer overnight, or I mean, an hour will do it. Half an hour, an hour to get a good freeze on them. Let me show you. I froze them in a little plastic thing. They're all stuck together. So what I would do was take all the little frozen plates or bowls of it and then pop them out into the bin. And then we'd have some spoons and different things to mix them with. But the number one thing the kids love to do with these frozen things was to take squirt bottles and squirt them. And in the process of squirting them, they'd kind of melt them so they'd separate. So for this one, I wouldn't put all of my frozen pom-poms out at a time, because we would go through a ton of these in a class. They were super popular. So I hope you enjoyed about different kinds of frozen art and water beads, and come back next week for some more sensory fun ideas. Bye guys.